Hello everyone and welcome to another Looker Studio tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to create an AI traffic report in Looker Studio. Before we go straight to the point, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps tremendously to create new content, so thank you very much in advance. And let's get started. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Looker Studio, you can skip the first part. You can go straight to filtering AI traffic. For those of you who want to see how we can create a report that looks exactly like this from the very beginning, let's do it together. So let's start from the very beginning, right? So this is Looker Studio. We're going to go to lookerstudio.google.com. We're going to click here, blank report, and we are going to connect our Google Analytics first. So we're going to say Google Analytics. Now here from the left-hand side, we are going to choose our account. We're going to choose our property. We're going to add our account and property in this Looker Studio report to begin with. Now it's going to load, and here we go. We are going to basically have a blank page here with a table. We don't really need this, so we're going to delete it. And let's start building the report. First thing we're going to do, we're going to give our report a name. We're going to call it AI Traffic Report. You can call it anything you like. Now we can start with some simple things to get to know how Looker Studio works. So we're going to click Insert. We are going to add a rectangle here on the top, and this is going to be the header of our report. So I'm just going to add it here on the top. I'm going to stretch it, and we are going to go now on the right hand side. We are going to make this white, and maybe we're going to make the borders black and maybe a little bit smaller. And let's click here on insert, and let's add some text. So this text is going to be the title of our report. So I'm going to call it AI Traffic Report. Now I'm going to select my text again. I'm going to go on the right hand side. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to make it a lot bigger. The font, maybe I'm going to align it in the center. And this one here is going to be our header. Now I had a nice logo on the left in the previous report, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to click insert. We are going to select image. We're going to put it here. We're going to come on the right hand side, select the file, and let's go actually to our files. Let's select our logo, and here we go. This is the logo. It can be a GIF also, so it's moving, animated. It can be a static. It's up to you. And let's actually now add the date range. So we're going to click on insert. We are going to add the date range control. We're going to put it here, nice and clean. And this is the date range. And let's start doing now something more meaningful. So we're going to click on insert, and we're going to select scorecard. So scorecard represents a single metric. And what we can do here is we can right click, copy, right click, paste if we want to, let's say, copy paste our scorecards, or we can grab them all, Control C, Control V, or Command C, Command V in a Mac. We're going to create multiple scorecards basically here, and these scorecards will represent different metrics. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab them all, align them nicely, and I'm going to select them one by one, go on the right hand side under the setup column, and start creating my report. So we're going to have sessions as my first metric. The second metric is going to be users, total users. The third metric, we have the visibility metrics. Now let's add some qualitative metrics. Let's say bounce rates. The next metric is going to be average session duration, qualitative metric. The next metric, let's go to outcome. So let's say, for example, event count. The next metric is going to be revenue, for example, if you are e-commerce, or you can select a key event if you are not e-commerce, doesn't really matter. So now we have these scorecards. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab them all, and I'm going to come here under setup. I'm going to toggle on comparison date range, and I'm going to say I want to compare these numbers with the previous year, and I'm going to hit apply. So whatever date range I select here, if I come here and I select this year to date, these little indicators now they are comparing with the previous year. Now I'm going to do one more thing because I'm a little bit OCD. I'm going to grab them all, go to style, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to align everything nicely in the middle. Also, this average session duration is too long, so I'm going to select this scorecard, click the pen, and I'm going to say average session duration. So I'm going to slightly modify the name of my scorecard. And now we have the scorecards here nicely aligned in the middle. Now let's start creating some charts. We're going to click on the insert button and we are going to first add maybe a time series chart here. Time series, I'm going to go on the right hand side under the setup column and I'm going to say now here, I want the month of the year and I want the sessions here as a metric. And what I also want is maybe click here on the comparison date range and I want to compare this with the previous year, right? So what is this now? What did we do? How does it look like? If we go, let's say here and we look into last year, so last year's performance, this chart here is going to show us the performance, the sessions in the last year comparing with the previous year, and the dark blue line is the sessions last year, the light blue is the sessions the previous year, 1 year before. Now I want to remove the grid line, so I'm going to go to style, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to click here under grid and I'm going to remove the grid line. And let's add now another chart and let's actually make it a combo chart here. And now the combo chart, again, the dimension is going to be the month of the year. The metrics are going to be the bounce rate and maybe the session duration. And now what I'm going to do here, because this is a combo chart, I'm going to go to style and I'm going to say the series one, which is essentially my bounce rate, is going to be a bar and is going to be, let's say, blue. It's already blue. And this metric is going to be on the left axis. And then series two, which is the average session duration, is going to be a line and is going to be represented by the right axis. And now I have a chart that looks how I want it to look. I'm going to scroll a little bit more down. I'm going to go to grid. I'm going to remove the grid. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to sort not by bounce rate, but we're going to sort by month in an ascending order. So everything looks good from January all the way to December. And then we're going to click on insert. We're going to add a column chart here. And this column chart, let's keep it simple. Let's say revenue. Now it's up to you again what kind of metrics you're going to select. So we are going to report on the revenue. We want to sort this chart by month in ascending order. And again, because I'm OCD, I'm going to go to style here. I'm going to remove the grid because I want everything to look nice, neat, and clean. Let's actually grab everything and just put them nicely in order. And here we go. We have more or less a report that is very similar to what you've seen before. Now let's click on the insert button and add a table. So I'm going to add a table here. Now here you see that you don't really have space. So how can we create more space? We're going to click on page, current page settings. I'm going to go to style and under here, height, I'm going to say I want 3000 pixels. So now we have ample space to play with. And now I can continue playing with my table. So this table, I'm going to make it bigger. I'm just going to drag it from one end to the next. I'm going to say that I want this table to report on session source medium. So we need to make sure that we don't misspell everything. So session source medium. And I'm going to customize the metrics in my table. So I'm going to add all my metrics. So I have sessions, I have total users, I have, let's say, bounce rate, I have the session duration. You can either go through the list of metrics or you can simply, let's say, type the name, and I'm going to have revenue. Right, so now I'm having all the session sources and mediums, and I have all the metrics that I care about. And now with this table, we're going to play a little bit more. And what we're going to do is under the setup column, we're going to enable the show summary row. So we can show basically the summary here. And I'm going to say, let's present only the top 20 rows. So this table is not the endless table. So let's say we're just going to go into the first 20, top 20 session sources and mediums based on sessions. Let's go to style now here, and let's say that the header is going to be blue and the header letters are going to be white, so it looks nice and neat. And let's do something quite cheeky and nice. Let's click on chart here. Let's select the third option, which is the heat map. So now we're going to convert this table into a heat map, so it's going to look easier to digest actually and understand what is high, what is low. And let's do one more thing. Let's keep playing with the table. We go into the setup column. We scroll down where it says comparison date range. We toggle it on and we say, let's compare this with the previous year, and we apply. So now you see a delta column that comes up that compares essentially the number of sessions, users, and so forth with the previous year. So now I have a table also, which is a heat map that actually gives me all the sessions, sources, and mediums compared to the previous year. Now let's add one more thing. We have this nice looking report so far. It's not an AI traffic report yet, but first we need to configure the report. Let's actually insert the pie charts. So I'm going to drop one pie chart here, and I'm going to come here and say, I want this pie chart to be based on the session source last medium and based on sessions. So this is the percentage basically of sessions by session source medium. And I'm going to duplicate this one more time, and I'm going to change this to revenue. So I want to see here the same pie chart, but I want to see the percentage of revenue coming from every source slash medium. And I'm going to align them nicely. And here you can see now how easy it was to actually create a quite decent looking Looker Studio report in maybe 10 minutes maximum. Right, so now I have the report where I wanted it. Now it's time to create the filter to narrow everything down to AI traffic. And the first thing we're going to do it the easy way. I want this entire page to only narrow down to AI traffic. How can we do this? We are going to click on page. We're going to go to current page settings. We're going to go under the setup column and click add the filter. And I'm going to create a new filter. I'm going to call it AI tools traffic. And I'm going to say I want to include only the session source slash medium that contains, but we're not going to go with a simple contains, we're going to go with a regular expression contains. And we are going to say contains chatgpt, or the breaker, we're going to say, let's say Gemini, or breaker, we're going to say, let's say perplexity, or breaker, we're going to say, for example, mammouth, and so forth. Now, why session source medium and why all of these entries here? Because if we go to our Google Analytics and we go to traffic acquisition report here, and we change the dimension from default channel group to session source slash medium, then here we're going to see the AI tools that are driving traffic on my site. So for example, ChatGPT, Perplexity, there's going to be Gemini, if we actually search here .ai, for example, we are going to find out other tools like Fellow, for example, like Mammouth, and we can use all these entries to create here my filter, right? So I'm going to use these entries to create my filter. Now, to make it easier, you can actually go to the video description down below, and you can actually copy this filter, this regular expression with the most common AI tools. So you can make your life easier. You can simply copy paste it here. And all I have to do now is save. I can always change this filter later. So now what you're going to see is that everything here in this report is basically changed. All the numbers now look a lot smaller because everything now here is adjusted to AI traffic. So let's actually go here and look into last year's performance. And we are going to see now that every scorecard, every chart, every table, every pie chart is only giving us data relevant to AI traffic. And I can see here how AI traffic is skyrocketing over last year. I can see the bounce rate and the average and duration. This report is also the revenue that is coming from AI traffic. And most interestingly, in this table, you can see only AI sources. For example, chatgpt, perplexity, Gemini, Fellow, for example, and so forth. And these pie charts now tell you the percentage of traffic from the different AI sources and the percentage of revenue from the different AI sources. So that's how you can filter an entire page. That's how you can filter an entire page down to AI traffic. And therefore, now we have an AI traffic report. And we have the top level performance of all the AI traffic. We have the performance of, let's say, the AI traffic when it comes to sessions, when it comes to bounce rate, when it comes to revenue, and so forth. Now, you may say, this is great. Maybe I want to have a report that has this overview, and I want a page like this for every AI tool separately. For example, I want a page like this only for ChatGPT, and a page like this only for Perplexity, for example, and a page like this only for Gemini. How can we do this? It is very simple. All we have to do in this case is we need to duplicate this page. So I'm going to come here to pages. I'm going to add another page so I can reveal the menu. I'm going to name this page here AI traffic overview. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the three dots. I'm going to duplicate this page here. And I'm going to name this page ChatGPT. And now on the ChatGPT page, I'm going to change the header. I'm going to say this is the ChatGPT report. And I'm going to go to the page, current page settings, and I'm going to remove this filter, and I'm going to add a new filter that only narrows down to ChatGPT. So I'm going to create a filter. I'm going to call it ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, let's include the session source / medium that contains, and I'm going to say here ChatGPT, and I'm going to save. And now this page is going to be dedicated only to ChatGPT traffic. And I can keep doing that. I can duplicate this. I can create a Perplexity report and Gemini report and so forth. And every time you come to your Looker Studio, you can navigate through the different pages. So this is going to be, let's say, the overview of all the AI traffic. This is going to be only ChatGPT. This is going to be only Perplexity and so forth. That's it. That's how we can create an AI traffic report with Looker Studio. We can do a lot more things with Looker Studio. So I have a lot more videos also in the playlist that you can explore. If you have any questions, any requests, just throw them in the comments. More than happy to play around with Looker Studio, show you different things. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day in any time zone. Thank you, everyone.